Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to play the Human Torch in this ultimate guide for Marvel Rivals. Now the Human Torch has some pretty cool abilities that sets him apart from any other character. He can set up these firewalls to deal damage over time, and he can also headshot with his attacks. Now I'll be breaking down all of his abilities here as he's a very new character releasing just yesterday. His attacks actually are quite powerful because at close range, anywhere from 15 meters and inwards, you're able to hit maximum damage with these, and you can see it takes 2 or 3 shots to be able to finish people off because its headshot damage is incredible. So with this, each of these little shots, it fires 10 of them. So when you see there, it has 10. I count them out. 10 of them, they do 7 damage each. So if you get a headshot, that can take people out in like 2 hits, as you can see right there. It's crazy, very strong. In addition to this, he can also do this attack to get in close. If you throw your little flame down there, you can dive into it, and what happens with that is you can get in close so that you're able to do those headshots and take out the enemies really fast that way. At longer range, his damage does fall off to 60%, so it does make it a little bit weaker. But to look into the Human Torch's abilities here, so this is on the Marvel Rivals website here, the fire cluster is his main attack. So with this, we're looking at a burst projectile. It has 6 charges, although that's a bit misleading because you don't actually run out of the charges. They charge faster than you can run out of them, and they have a projectile speed of 120 meters per second, so they're not hit scan. Some people were saying it is a hit scan, but it's not. It does have a bit of a delay. And it has 7 damage per round with 10 rounds, so it's 70 damage, and double that if you hit a headshot for 140. And it has damage fall off at 15 meters, decreasing to 60% at 40 meters there. And the crosshair spread at 10 meters is 0.33 meters. Now, the Blazing Blast is the main attack here that we really want to focus on, because this is where you can set up some very annoying choke points. So you can create a shape like this and then press E to be able to create a surface here, which will deal 50 damage per second, which will just shred people down very quickly. Normally these do around 25 damage per second, but whenever you put that wall up, it does a whole lot more damage. You get 3 charges of that, and you can place down it in a square or in a triangle. One thing to be mindful of though is you can't actually, if it's on a higher elevation, you can't actually connect them, so you just have to be mindful it's all going to be on the same elevation there. But yeah, this attack has a 80 meters per second speed. You charge 2 of them per strike, and with this it has a 3-meter spherical radius, so you're able to hit people a little bit further away. And the flame field duration is 6 seconds, 25 damage per second, and then you make those walls with the E Pyro Prison, which you can make into squares as well. It does the 15 damage per second with a 15-second cooldown. Plasma Body's his other ability here, giving him a really fast speed, so you can move upwards pretty quickly. It does have an energy cost to it, and I'll kind of go into that. And Supernova, his unique ultimate, gives what's cool is it does a 20-meter spherical radius damage that does 70, and then you get to throw down fire tornadoes, which I'll show off in this. So 2 team-ups with Invisible Woman and Storm, which is also something I'll show off here because it is really strong. So typically what you want to be doing is you want to drop down these pyro prisons if you can, and then ignite them. And then from up high, you can also just go down and explode them too, knocking people away. So if Loki's got his invincibility up, you can knock him out of his invincibility there. But what you want to do with his ultimate, so you're going to see here, if you use it, you can actually blast and hit really hard because he does a big supernova attack there, and then you get to throw down these fire tornadoes, which do a ton of damage over time. And yeah, this is just a very powerful attack. So whenever he's in his ultimate, you do get targeted really quickly, so you do got to be mindful of that. But you can see here, he's got this fast movement speed. You can make it look like he's shooting fire out his butt. And you can fly around. You have an increased acceleration, so you can get up really high really fast, so you can get into a good position to be able to cause chaos with these abilities here, and then you get in closer to be able to drop the fire attacks because the headshots just don't do so much damage. At 15 meters radius here, this is typically where you're going to be your most effective, so he's best at mid-range. You do have a slight damage fall off, but your attacks also kind of have a shotgun like spread. So if you see here, whenever you throw these down, they do have a bit of a spread to them. They don't always come out directly on your cursor. So I like this cursor here because at longer ranges, you're going to see that roughly this is where they're going to end up. So yeah, you can pay attention to his attack range a lot whenever you're playing Human Torch, and you typically want to stay with your team, but also falling back if you need to. Also, you can see right on the right hand side, just right to the cursor, you can see the charges for his speed boost here, so it does run out if you do use it a bit too much, but it's not like Iron Man's. You don't get that extreme movement speed with it. But whenever you drop his ultimate, again, it's just super powerful because that's 70 damage, the explosion in the 20-meter radius, so you can see 20 meters is quite a long distance. And then we got all these fire tornadoes, which just do a whole lot of damage. So And when it comes to a supernova, they have a 3-meter spherical radius and 8 meters high radius as well. And they do 100 damage per second, and you get a damage reduction of 30%, so you can survive a little bit more while he's got the ultimate going. One nice thing is the Storm siblings. If you're using Invisible Woman, you can actually get extra damage, or you get extra over health when using her ability. So whenever you're in Supernova, you can actually keep yourself alive a little bit longer with that. And the Omega Fire, which is the team up with Storm, which is actually really crazy. So you can see here now, whenever Storm has her ult, I guess I need to get the ult charge here, but you'll be able to use yours by pressing X here, and this makes it so that you turn into one of those tornadoes. It's larger, it lasts longer, and you have a huge radius. So yeah, this is definitely a solid team up, especially if you like playing a Storm, because yeah, you get that huge benefit of Jonathan boosting it up, and the damage potential is actually quite crazy with that. And the team up with Susan here, you can give yourself this ability here to give yourself the extra health. So yeah, you do have to get hurt to be able to get that health come back, but it does give you some nice extra added survivability. So really good team up, especially if you got the whole Fantastic Four going at it. You can get that extra health just for survivability's sake. But I'll show off how to play in the Human Torch in some actual gameplay here, so you can get an idea of how to best use his kit. Positioning for a Human Torch is a little bit tricky because you want to stay within that 15-meter mark, but if you get too close, you are taken out pretty easily, so you do have to be a little bit careful where you go. But there is a lot of ways you can use cover that other heroes can't use, so there's a lot of things up high that you can just hide behind and then dive in. You also got that dive attack if you need to get away from someone really fast, so there's a twofold way of using that. But for the most part, if you're able to hunt down someone that's, you know, low on health and just finish them off, that's going to be an ideal way of using your time. But I find that standing up high works really well. Now, you can go down with your team too, because it's going to spread the aggro between all of you guys, so that can be one way to kind of circumvent that. But diving in and finding their healers is a nice way to just keep the pressure on their back line so that they fall a little bit quicker. And whenever you get your whenever you have your ground covered there, it's just going to do the work for you, because on domination maps like this, you can literally just set it up there and it'll deal damage over time. Now, other flyers is something that you can take out pretty quickly, because you got kind of that shotgun-like blast, so Iron Man, Storm, Star-Lords, the other flyers, you can take care of them pretty easily. Now, here's an example of where you need a peel. So, I was getting shot at, and there's no one else on my team, so I had to get away. Thankfully, I was able to get to Invisible Woman there for some heals, but, yeah, that dang Jeff. You do have some pretty good damage, but if you hear a Jeff ult going off, sometimes it's best to place down your Pyro prisms, so that you can deal the damage over time. But here was a nice triple. Unfortunately, I kept getting Star-Lord ulted on that game, but this was another way of applying pressure to a healer so that it forces out their ultimate during a bad time like that, and we went on to win that game. Also, at long range, you do a decent damage because the spread is going to hit probably multiple targets and just keep applying consistent pressure on the enemies there. And you can get some pretty surprising knockouts just by firing off and trying to push forward. So that works really nicely there as well. And depending on the map, there's going to be some really good spots for you to hide out if you need to get some cover. So on maps like this, you can see there's a bunch of the symbiote stuff there you can kind of hide behind if you need to. And then you can pop in and out, similar to how you would typically play like Iron Man. But yeah, we're just following up against the healers here, and we're able to take both of them out. Since you can fly up high and fly up high quickly, it's best for you to go after healers if you can, because you can dive in towards the back line there and then fly away safely. But dropping down these fire tornadoes here can do a ton of damage. So you see you got a triple kill there. And that's how to play Human Torch. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below.